So the main point of the note on verse 11 is regarding oil and wine. And Dr. Ruckman is making the point that symbolically this is regarding Mary, Mary is connected with the wine and Muhammad is connected with the oil. Now, the petrodollar is the main issue in the geopolitical war historical situation we're dealing with right now. The debt, $40 million in debt in the United States. I'm sorry, $40 trillion. Donald Trump's main goal in what he's doing right now with the Iran war, the overall perspective is to take control of the supply of the oil. If he does that, he can shift the debt that was created by Clinton and Obama to the world, and so the United States would be saved from strangling in the debt created by the Democrats. However, the issue is with the Iran situation in the Strait of Hormuz. The oil, a lot of the oil is flowing from there, and it's creating a lot of problems for China and some of the other nations. So Iran is like a fortress mountain base, you know. It's like the final stage in UN Squadron on the Super Nintendo. I know that's an obscure reference, but it actually makes sense. You can't really, it's very difficult to completely defeat your enemy in Iran and completely take control of the Strait of Hormuz. You see that every day. It switches back and forth on the media. You know, one day they're saying, a peace treaty has been signed. And then the next day they're like, Iran strikes another boat in the strait. Looks like the peace is not settled. Then the next day, peace on earth. It is proclaimed. Then the next day, a boat crashes into a wall in the Strait of Hormuz, preventing movement. So you don't really know what's going on, but this is the key strategic location. So if you freeze the resources coming from there, whilst Donald Trump is obtaining resources from other regions throughout the world, which is what he's done. He's offering to purchase Greenland. That's heavy metals. He's taking control of Venezuela, so he can get his oil, or have a long-term goal of getting oil from there. And then he was talking about another strategic point that our Navy is blockading from China. So basically, the United States is trying to consolidate its power and remove its responsibility from that debt created by the Democrats. So what does this have to do with the Bible? It has everything to do with end times and World War III and the final battle. If the United States loses, that's the interesting thing. I don't know. Can they lose? I mean, it's possible. But if they lose, then everybody's just going to annihilate Israel. That would, prophetically speaking, I guess that would work out then. So, but if they win, if the United States wins, then Israel takes over the areas that the Bible is actually talking about. They want Lebanon, they want a chunk of Iraq, a chunk of Syria. You know, they want a much bigger region than, you know, what they actually have is not what's described in the Bible. So anyway, what does this have to do with Islam and Catholicism? Well, most of our leadership is Catholic. Now, Catholicism, there's a conspiracy that Catholicism created Islam in the Crusades, and that they created Islam in order to create an opponent to give them an excuse to go out and conquer. And, you know, war is good for business. Ferengi rule of acquisition, it's one of the rules. And then peace is good for business too. That's another one of the Ferengi rules of acquisition. So, Muhammad and Mary. Muhammad's wife was Catholic, I think. So, it's interesting. I don't know what to say about this overall. I mean, but it's playing out and it's very exciting, but it's scary at the same time. I don't know. I'm just watching a video about it this morning. But bottom line with his note, what he's making a point about is they'll get together to get rid of the people that actually believe in the King James Bible. Why is the King James Bible an opponent to them? Well, both Muhammad and Mary would have to do with a work salvation perspective. Whenever you put any weight on works, the works always take over everything else. And if there's a fourth part to a trinity, I think your trinity is pretty messed up. I think it becomes like a box or something. It's not a trinity anymore. It's a rhombus or something. Mary is not God, and Muhammad is, you don't even have to begin to start critiquing him. There's so much about him that's kind of crazy. Okay, let's continue. 24:12. Men groan from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded crieth out, yet God layeth not folly to them. Here's the note. Notice the groaning is said to come out of the city, not the country. The first city builder was a murderer, Cain. Genesis 4:17. In the city they are laying house to house, Isaiah 5:8. The three cardinal sins, so characteristic of all city life, are now enumerated. Murder and robbery in verse 14, and adultery in verse 15. Yeah, I was just talking about that. You know, this city that I live in, Toledo, it's not good. There have been a lot of murders just recently. Thankfully, I live in a pretty decent area, but you still get people passing through that they hate you. I'm serious. They look at you, they hate you. And it makes for an uncomfortable living experience, so that you want to leave this area, you know. This is the only red area in Ohio. The rest of Ohio is like, yeah, man, God is good. Trump is doing a great job. America's great. Got a great job. Got my wife. Got my kids. You know, everybody else in Ohio is like that. It's just all peaceful. This is country. And then you come to Toledo and it's like, yeah, yeah. And it sucks. Sorry. Okay, I'll stop talking.